What's going on, y'all? So, something that a lot of people have been asking, and I've seen not too many videos about, or at least updated videos about, is how to go about updating or starting your photography portfolio. So, I'm a photographer, also, I make movies, and right now, my camera of choice and use is the Sony A6700. And I'm telling you right now, this is a new camera for me. I used to use Canon cameras for like the past like 15 so years. This is my first time switching to Sony and using a Sony camera, and I'm in love with it. I really love what I've been able to do with it, and I'm loving the plans I have going down the future with this camera. Now, when it comes to wanting to do photography professionally, or even as a hobby, but just wanting to get more into it, start learning it more, either way, you're probably going to need a portfolio at some point. And it could be a really daunting task if you're not sure where to start. And it could feel like it's this bigger than life thing. But it's not as complicated or sometimes not as time consuming as you may think, right? So, first, let's start with okay, how do I get people to do shoots with? Meaning, usually, if you're doing like me, mainly a portrait photographer. I do landscape, some other things as well, but my concentration is usually portrait photography. And usually, you need obviously models for that, where they do self portraits, which is what I use to practice, or you can go out there and get a model. So the first thing is self portraits. You can easily do self portraits if you have a tripod or at least something to put your camera on and stabilize it, and just use you. Right? That's a for me that was the best way to practice learning um, not only just to also love myself, but like just to see how to pose people, pose men. Also, like what kind of like colors look good on this background. Like just it's a lot of time by yourself to really learn how to shoot a model or shoot a person with a camera. And not only that, but how to learn your settings. That's a big thing because the last thing you want to do, I've done it when I was really early in my career, not knowing or mastering your camera settings can really derail a shoot or make you have a lot of anxiety and can really just make a shoot, even the most simpler shoots, really complicated. So just learning your camera settings and like waiting for models to come or waiting for people to shoot with you and that never happening, it just takes time away from you learning how to use your camera better. So self shoots is a really good way to go, and you can post them on your portfolio. There's nothing wrong with having self portraits on your portfolio, at least in my opinion. I think it's fine. It's still a picture you took, you edited, you directed, you had the artistic design behind it, so there's no reason for you not to use those self portraits onto your portfolio. So that's something you can do as well. Now, another thing is finding models. Like this can be a little difficult for some people, especially if you're introverted or you're shy, or there's so many different reasons why it can be a little difficult. One thing you can do to find models is ask your friends if you have any people who want photos for free. Like it could be your parents, it could be family members, it could be friends, whoever's willing to take a couple of hours out of their day to just do a quick shoot with you, whether it's like an hour or two just to do a shoot with you. Not only can it be low risk, meaning like if there's photos messed up, you don't feel as pressured because it's just friends or family. Obviously, I'm not saying if you like ask your friends to go film or shoot their wedding or something important like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like, hey, it's a sunny day outside, it looks nice. Do you want to go to the local park or wherever to go do, or even the backyard or something, or something inside the house? You want to do a quick shoot. That's a good way to get into it too. You don't have to go and pay a bunch of money for a model or go out your way to go find some model on the internet or something like that if you don't want to or you don't have the means to. Start easy, especially if you're new to photography or like you're really just itching to learn more about photography and your camera settings, all these different things like by hand and using just doing on your own. Like go and ask someone that you can get a different answer for them, and also someone that you again is low risk, so you don't have like a bunch of anxiety, because when you shoot with a model there's a lot of etiquette that needs to be done, there's a lot of timing issues that can be done. Now the time is it going to be free or something, and there's so many different issues that can go into that can overwhelm someone who's just new to building portfolio, or someone who's trying to build a portfolio in a rush because they have a job they're trying to get and they want a portfolio to demonstrate to their client or to their future boss or somewhere employer that, hey, I can shoot this particular setting or this type of photography. So there's many reasons why finding a model out there, while there is, it's never, it's always easier than it's always been to do. It's not always the most time consuming. It's not the, like, the time frame can be really long or really short. So you want to be careful with that. Now, another thing you can do is also visit your local Facebook groups that have or host photo shoots. There are groups in many cities, big and small, around America. I'm in America, so based in America. There is plenty of Facebook groups or IG groups or whatever have you that host photography events, where there's a bunch of photographers and models that are local to the area, whatever area that may be, and they post up somewhere, and everyone has fun and has take their turn shooting photos, whether it's like models rotating to different like little like mini groups, and like a good background, like there's a good backdrop, like some dope wall art or something, and the model posts up there, and photographers just take their turn to get in their shots doing stuff like that, vice versa. So it's a really cool way to collaborate with your local talent, meet a lot of new modeling and photographer friends. There's so many benefits to doing it. Now, again, I know it can be a little hard and a little time consuming to make sure, oh, is this worth it or this and that. But from what I've heard, I've never really went to those, but from what I heard, photography groups are really well done. I know a couple of friends who have done photography groups, a couple of models and photographers both, who've done those groups, and they've had nothing but nice things to say about it. So it really just depends on who's running it and how efficient and effective they are in running a group like that. But if you find a good photography group, it can really change your life in terms of photography. Like, it can really upgrade your photography skills, can really get you into that local market that you're trying to pry into or get into if you're a new photographer, or like whether it's new to photography itself, or just you just move to this area and try to see what's good, you try and find new talent to work with, etc., etc. Like, there's so many benefits to using a photography group, and Facebook is really good for that. Next is also, like, you're into landscape photography or stuff like that, or you have models lined up, you don't know where to shoot at. Another good thing to do is take a day or two during the weekend or something, or whenever you can, whether it's day or night, just be safe, but go and visit your local beautiful spots. It can be national parks or just regular parks. It could be cool Airbnb. Like, there's some Airbnbs and some different housing stuff that's like a studio type of thing. Like, you can rent it out and use it for a studio. There's different things like that. So just visit different locations, different places, different towns, different cities in your state. Do things like that that can help inspire new ideas or give you ideas for locations. So, like, if someone wants to shoot like in an urban setting, it's like, okay, cool, I know this city that has this perfect like spot with the sun hits here, or there's not too much traffic. So there's so many ways that going to location scouting can help you really formulate ideas. It's almost like using Pinterest, and that's something you can do before you location scout as well. You can go on Pinterest and see future shoots you want to do, and then you can go location scout for those shoot locations that can help you visualize and help you get that and execute that vision you have. So location scouting is something you can also do to help with your not only landscape photography into that, but also just help with your portrait photography and help you build your resume that way too. Next thing you can do is, obviously, you want to make to actually, when it comes to like making the portfolio itself, right? You want to use something. You can use like Instagram, you can use Pinterest, you can use your own website. There's so many easier ways to make websites now. Use Wix, Squarespace. I personally use Wix for my website, but there's Squarespace. I heard a lot of people use that. So there's so many. I think GoDaddy or something. I think that's still. I think it's GoDaddy. I'll be embarrassed if it's not. But those like hosting sites where you can like host your own website, like, and something you can do for free. Like, you don't have to pay. Like, for Wix, there's a free version where you can just like kind of like, it won't be like a .com and all that. You have to pay for that, but it's still like a working website that you can use to just host your portfolio if you're trying to do that. So there's so many different ways to go about that. Instagram works, especially if like a lot of people have Instagram, so a lot of people can find you through Instagram. Through Pinterest, I know some people use Pinterest and it really works out for them. It helps traffic flow from Pinterest to all their other websites and stuff like that. So that's another option as well. And a website you can just really control how you want it to look. You can upload as many images and stuff as you want. You can customize it in so many different ways, so it's not just stuck behind Instagram. Especially if you're someone like me who doesn't like social media. Like, I don't really like using social media that much, so I love my website and be able to use that. So I get a lot of my clients through like my website and through through getting referred from another client, word of mouth, stuff like that. So there's different ways. And the last one is not for people who do not like social media, but another thing you use is a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel is major. You can just do videos like this where you just talk about your recent shoot experience, for example, right? Like, oh, let's say you had a shoot somewhere in some city you never been to, a model you never worked with, or maybe something like that, and you really want to talk about your experience and document that, and you can have some B-roll or of like your shoot, or if you don't have another camera or another way to set that up and everything, you can just post pictures, like post your pictures in your video while you're talking about, like talk about, show the picture somewhere, and then talk about this is how we shot this. This was the idea, the concept. It didn't really work out the way we wanted it to, so we had to do this instead, or vice versa, etc., etc. A YouTube channel is a really good way for you to talk through your process and also show your work. And YouTube is one of the biggest platforms out there, if not the number one platform out there. So a lot of traffic is always on YouTube. People are bound to find it that way, especially if you keep advertising your work and you keep posting, you're really consistent. YouTube's another way to document in many ways, many different ways, your photography journey. Now, I wouldn't just do a YouTube video or YouTube channel. I would have like an Instagram or a website to help link something to, so when people watch your videos, they can go to your actual portfolio. But a YouTube channel is a good way to help boost and promote your work and talk through your processes, and also just document your growth as a photographer and as an artist in general. That's another really cool way and benefit of having something like a YouTube channel. So besides that, that's really it. Those are just the ways that I go about building a portfolio. Whether it's like looking for talent, whether it's how to level up my photography skills, or how to build my portfolio, or where I should get my portfolio. Again, some of the things you really need to just be alert with is just have fun with this process and build your portfolio the way that you want to and the easiest for you. Because really what you want to do when it comes to portfolios and things like that is start with consistency. You have to be consistent in anything you do when you want to level up. So if you're always on your phone on social media, then it makes more sense for you to use Instagram or Pinterest or something. If you're someone who's not really social media savvy, or you don't really like being on social media that much, then maybe going to build your own website through Wix, where there's many videos of how to build websites. There's plenty of templates on website builders like that, where they have like, oh, you want to do photography portfolio? There's already preset made website basically pages dedicated to just portfolios. Like it's not as hard as you think it is. So there's so many ways. So that's another way you can go about it. You know, like I said, if you're someone who's not really good with talking with people and conversing with people and working with people, then you're going to want to ask your friends or family to help model for you instead, or maybe, again, do self-portraits instead of like going out there, being uncomfortable, making your talent uncomfortable, spending money you don't need to spend, all that good stuff. Like, you know, and you don't have to be in New York City or LA or Chicago or Paris or wherever. You don't have to be, or London. You don't have to be in like the top cities in the world to go get talent. I promise you, there are models or people willing to get their photos taken, all kinds of stuff everywhere, no matter where you are. Photography is a service that a lot of people want and need or like or want to get into. Like the options are really wide and available. So there's so many different ways to approach a portfolio for photography. There's so many different ways to build it, and you can also design it too. Like, whereas like for me, well, at least when I started out, I did seasonal stuff. So I had like different catalogs for like different seasons. So like if I was doing a shoot in the wintertime and people wanted to do a winter themed shoot, whether it was like the winter formal dance, like I know some parents want to pay photographers for that situation, or like schools want to pay photographer for that situation, or like people want Christmas themed photos taken for their family, stuff like that. Like you can already have a portfolio for all your winter stuff's like right there, right? Stuff for that usually you would shoot in the wintertime. Springtime or summertime, you have like the dresses out, you'll have like short sleeve shirts out, blah blah blah, shorts, whatever, pants, sweats, stuff like that. Like you'll have a different type of wardrobe that usually people wear in the spring, summer than when in winter, fall. So like that's a catalog for that. Some people like the fall or Halloween themed shoots, cosplay, costume, dress up, stuff like that. So like you can have your own fall catalog where there's a bunch of like the leaves turning, there's a bunch of like these creative shoot ideas. So there's so many different ways to customize your portfolio and use it to your advantage and use it so it makes sense not only to you, but mostly and most importantly, you want your portfolio to be easy to access, and you want it to be not only easy to access, but just easy to go through for potential clients or potential employers. Because there's nothing worse, almost like a resume, of getting like no one wants to read a 5-page resume with a bunch of stuff. They're going to skim through. Like, you just want a clean, efficient sheet of paper that says exactly what your skill set is, exactly what you're doing. I like to do my portfolio the same way. I like it to be, if you're looking for my video work, boom, here's my video work. If you're looking for my photography work, boom, here's my photography work. If you're looking for something specific, like let's say a client's out there and they want me for like an event shoot, okay, well, here is my section of just all my event shoots that you can see, like, hey, I like the vision of how he does events. I like the angles, like how he records or like how he shoots. I want that for me. I want you to do that for me. Boom, it's already done. So there's so many different ways to go about it and to make it easy. But again, make it easy to read or easy to watch, easy to view, make it easy to get to. Make sure you always update your links. You'll be good to go. Peace.